In the vast golden plains of sub-Saharan Africa, where lions stalk the tall grass and elephants roam in slow procession, there exists an animal that commands both fear and respect. It has no venom, no claws, and no fangs. But what it does have is sheer power, unpredictable aggression, and a reputation for being one of the most dangerous creatures on the continent. This is the Cape buffalo, also known as the Black Death. At first glance, the Cape buffalo might not strike you as deadly. It looks like a supersized cow with large sweeping horns, a heavy-set body, and a rather stoic expression. But don't be fooled by its bovine build or its calm demeanor. Beneath that exterior lies an animal that is responsible for more human deaths in Africa than almost any other large land mammal, including lions. A beast built like a tank. The Cape buffalo can weigh anywhere from 100 to 2,000 pounds, 500 to 900 kilos, and stands about 1.5 meters, 5 feet, at the shoulder. Its curved horns are fused at the base in a thick bony shield called a boss, which acts like natural armor against predators and rivals. This physical trait alone makes it nearly invincible to frontal attacks, especially from would-be predators like lions. Their thick hides are virtually bulletproof to anything less than high-caliber rounds, which has made even seasoned hunters approach them with extreme caution. They're surprisingly agile for their size and can run at speeds of 35 mph, 56 km/h, charging with their heads low and their horns pointed forward. Unpredictable and aggressive. What sets the Cape buffalo apart from many other large herbivores is its temperament. These animals are known to be highly unpredictable. They may appear calm while grazing one moment, only to charge without warning the next. They do not display typical warning behaviors like pawing the ground or huffing. Once a buffalo has decided you're a threat, it may attack immediately and relentlessly. When injured, a Cape buffalo doesn't flee, it fights. In fact, many fatal encounters with humans occur when wounded buffaloes circle back and ambush their pursuers. Stories abound of hunters being tracked and gored by buffaloes they thought had run off. This unusual behavior has earned them a fearsome spot among Africa's Big Five, a term originally coined by big game hunters to describe the 5 most dangerous animals to hunt on foot. A deadly defender of its own, Cape buffaloes are social animals that often travel in herds of dozens to hundreds, particularly in areas where resources are plentiful. Their group behavior is key to their defense strategy. When threatened, the herd will surround their young, the old, or the injured, presenting a solid wall of horns to the enemy, but more astonishing is their tendency to rescue fellow herd members. If a lion brings down one of their own, the herd may launch a counterattack, chasing off predators and even trampling or goring them in the process. There are documented cases of lions being killed by buffaloes in such rescues, something rarely seen among prey animals. This loyalty and aggression combined make them terrifyingly effective. Buffalo versus humans. Cape buffaloes are responsible for killing more than 200 people every year. Most of these deaths occur in rural African regions, where humans and buffaloes share space. Farmers, herders, and villagers are most at risk. Encounters often happen when people stumble upon a buffalo while walking through tall grass, or when they unknowingly get between a buffalo and its herd. Hunters, especially trophy hunters, are among the highest risk groups. A shot that doesn't kill instantly might trigger the buffalo to charge through dense brush, making it nearly impossible to stop in time. Experienced hunters often say that if a Cape buffalo charges, you only have time to shoot once, maybe twice, and it better count. Not a domesticated species. Interestingly, despite being part of the bovine family, Cape buffaloes have never been domesticated. Unlike their Asian cousin, the water buffalo, widely used in agriculture and transportation, Cape buffaloes are too aggressive, too wild, and too dangerous to be tamed. Their refusal to be domesticated is further proof of their untamable nature. Attempts to keep them in captivity or under control often end in injuries or escape. Zoos and wildlife reserves that house Cape buffaloes must construct reinforced barriers and take strict precautions to protect both animals and caretakers. The hunter becomes the hunted predators no better than to take on a Cape buffalo alone. Lions, Africa's apex predators, usually only go after buffaloes in groups, targeting the young, sick, or isolated individuals. Even then, it's a risky endeavor. A cornered adult buffalo can kill a lion with a single horn thrust, and many lions carry scars, or worse, from failed buffalo hunts. In areas where lions and buffaloes frequently clash, an evolutionary arms race has emerged. Buffaloes have become increasingly cautious and defensive, while lions have developed coordinated hunting strategies and more daring behaviors. It's a deadly dance of survival that defines life on the African savanna. Conservation and human conflict. Though Cape buffaloes are not endangered, their population is affected by disease outbreaks, habitat loss, and human-wildlife conflict. In particular, bovine tuberculosis and foot and mouth disease have ravaged buffalo populations in some regions, complicating conservation efforts and making buffalo-human interactions more dangerous. Because they carry diseases that can spread to cattle, Cape buffaloes are often seen as a threat to agriculture, which has led to culling efforts and fencing policies that attempt to separate wild buffaloes from livestock. These strategies, while protective in intent, have also fragmented buffalo populations and reduced their genetic diversity. Despite these challenges, the Cape buffalo remains one of the most iconic and feared animals in Africa. Safaris, wildlife documentaries, and nature photographers seek them out not just for their imposing appearance, but for their fierce spirit and dynamic behavior. They symbolize a wildness that refuses to be controlled, a raw power that exists even among grazers. Why it ranks among the deadliest. So why does the Cape buffalo deserve a spot on this list? It doesn't possess venom. It doesn't stalk its prey with stealth. It doesn't fly or infect or sting. What it does is charge, crush, gore, and destroy anything it sees as a threat. It's a natural battering ram wrapped in hooves and horns. Its kill count may not rival that of the mosquito or snake, but its aggression, unpredictability, and tendency to target humans directly make it one of the most deadly animals alive. It represents a category of animal we often underestimate, one that is plant-eating, slow-moving, and grounded, yet more dangerous than a prowling predator. That, perhaps, is its greatest danger of all. It's the killer you never saw coming. At first glance, the cone snail looks harmless. Found in shallow tropical waters, its delicate, beautifully patterned shell seems better suited for a jewelry display than a list of the world's most deadly animals. But don't be deceived. Beneath that ornate exterior lies a stealthy assassin equipped with one of the most sophisticated venom delivery systems in the animal kingdom. The cone snail is proof that danger comes in small, slow packages. Unlike most predators that rely on speed or strength, this marine mollusk kills with precision, patience, and chemical warfare. It doesn't chase its prey. It ambushes and paralyzes it, sometimes in less than a second. And tragically, this lethal ability isn't reserved for fish, worms, or other sea creatures. Some cone snail species have venom potent enough to kill a human in under 2 hours. Let S dive into how a snail that fits in the palm of your hand earns a spot among the deadliest animals on Earth. A beautiful shell hides a ruthless predator. There are over 800 known species of cone snails, found primarily in warm, tropical oceans like the Indo-Pacific and the Caribbean. They range in size from less than 2 inches to over 6 inches long. And each species has a distinct, often stunning shell pattern. Swirls, spots, zigzags, and geometric lines in shades of ivory, brown, gold, and orange. These shells have made cone snails a favorite among collectors, sometimes fetching high prices in shell markets. But the danger lies not in the shell, it's in what the snail carries within. Cone snails are carnivorous, with diets that vary by species. Some specialize in hunting marine worms, while others go after small fish or other mollusks. The larger species, such as Conus geographus, the geography cone, are the most dangerous to humans because they target fast, mobile prey, requiring potent neurotoxins to subdue them. The harpoon of death. The cone snail's weapon of choice is its radula tooth, a tiny, hollow, barbed harpoon that it ejects from its proboscis like a spring-loaded spear. It works much like a venomous dart gun. When prey comes near, the cone snail extends its flexible snout, fires the tooth into the prey's body, and injects a complex cocktail of venom that instantly paralyzes the target. The venom contains a blend of conotoxins, small, highly specialized proteins that block various nerve signals in the body. Some stop the transmission of pain, while others shut down muscles or prevent communication between the brain and the spinal cord. This allows the cone snail to immobilize its prey almost immediately, ensuring it doesn't escape or fight back. Once the prey is paralyzed, the snail reels it in with its proboscis and swallows it whole. It's a slow-motion attack with lightning-fast results. A human killer. While most cone snail species pose little danger to humans, the larger fish-hunting ones, like the geography cone, Conus geographus, and the textile cone, Conus textile, are incredibly dangerous. Their venom is designed to bring down fish in seconds. If injected into a human, the effects can be catastrophic. The venom can cause symptoms such as numbness and tingling, vision problems, muscle paralysis, respiratory failure, coma, or death. There is no known anti-venom for a cone snail sting. Treatment is purely supportive, assisting with breathing, circulation, and other life functions while the body tries to eliminate the toxins. Victims must be rushed to a hospital immediately, especially if they've been stung by a large specimen. Thankfully, cone snail stings are rare. They don't chase humans or act aggressively, and most stings happen when someone picks up a live snail, often while snorkeling or collecting shells. The danger is that the snail can strike even while being held. Its harpoon can pierce gloves, skin, and in some cases wetsuits. The cigarette snail. The geography cone has earned the morbid nickname, the cigarette snail, based on a grim joke among divers. If it stings you, you'll have just enough time to smoke a cigarette before dying. Though this is a dramatization, it reflects the genuine lethality of the venom. Deaths from cone snail stings have been documented, though they are exceedingly rare, likely fewer than 40 worldwide in recorded history. Still, the risk is serious enough that anyone handling shells in tropical regions is advised to exercise extreme caution. A cone snail's size and shell may be beautiful, but they are no guarantee of safety. Venom as a scientific treasure. Ironically, the same venom that makes cone snails deadly to humans also makes them invaluable to medical research. The peptides in cone snail venom, particularly conotoxins, are highly specific, each targeting a particular nerve channel or receptor in the human body. This makes them incredibly useful in developing painkillers, treatments for epilepsy, and neurological disorders. One such drug, ziconotide, marketed as Prialt, is derived from cone snail venom and is used to treat chronic, severe pain in patients who no longer respond to opioids. It's administered via spinal injection and works by blocking calcium channels in the nervous system, effectively shutting down pain transmission without the addictive side effects of traditional opioids. Scientists continue to explore cone snail venom for potential cures for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and even some forms of cancer. In this way, the cone snail is a paradox, a deadly threat and a source of healing in the same body. Adapted to kill and survive cone snails are evolutionary marvels. They've evolved not only a deadly weapon, but also a defense system that allows them to survive in competitive reef environments. Their venom is constantly evolving. Snails from different regions and even individual snails can have variations in their toxin profile. This biochemical diversity is part of what makes them so hard to treat medically, but also so valuable to science. Their ambush hunting technique makes them effective predators, despite their slow movement. Instead of chasing, they wait. Instead of fighting, they incapacitate. It's a model of efficiency and elegance in evolution, wrapped inside a polished shell. Why it ranks among the deadliest. The cone snail earns its place on this list not by body count, but by potential. It's not aggressive. It doesn't chase you through the water. But if you make the mistake of picking one up, it could end your life before help can arrive. With no cure for its sting and the ability to kill within hours, the cone snail represents a rare case of lethality hiding in plain sight. Its beauty makes it tempting to touch. Its size makes it easy to underestimate. But its venom makes it one of the most deceptively dangerous animals on the planet. In the lush, green rainforests of Colombia's Pacific coast, no larger than a paperclip, lives a creature that's as beautiful as it is deadly. With its brilliant golden skin shimmering against the dark leaves of the jungle floor, the golden poison dart frog doesn't just command attention, it demands it. But its vibrant appearance is more than just camouflage or attraction. It's a blazing neon sign that says, "Touch me and you die." The golden poison dart frog is arguably the most poisonous animal on Earth. It carries enough toxin in its tiny body to kill 10 adult humans, or 2 African elephants. And yet, it has no fangs, no claws, and it won't chase you. Its power lies entirely in its skin. One careless touch could spell the end, making this thumb-sized amphibian one of the most deceptively dangerous animals alive. Beauty as a warning. Aposematism. The golden poison dart frog is a shining example of aposematism, a survival strategy where animals advertise their toxicity through bright, contrasting colors. While many animals avoid standing out, the dart frog flaunts its danger. Its golden hue serves as a visual warning to potential predators. Eat me, and you'll die. This strategy works. Most jungle predators learn to associate bright colors with a bad taste or a painful death. Birds, snakes, and mammals avoid these frogs, despite their small size and otherwise vulnerable appearance. Interestingly, not all poison dart frogs are golden. The Phyllobates genus contains several species with varied colors: yellow, green, orange, and even blue. But none are as toxic as Phyllobates terribilis, the golden one. And yes, the species name, terribilis, literally means terrible, or more accurately, terrifying. The deadliest toxin in the animal kingdom. The frog's skin secretes a potent neurotoxin called batrachotoxin. This chemical works by permanently locking open the sodium channels in nerve and muscle cells, which leads to uncontrolled electrical activity, muscle paralysis, and eventually heart failure. In simple terms, it shuts your body down, and there is no known antidote. Just 2 micrograms of batrachotoxin, less than the weight of a grain of salt, is enough to kill a human. An average adult frog carries about 1,000 micrograms. That means this frog doesn't need to bite, sting, or inject. Just touching it can be fatal, especially if you have an open cut or a mucous membrane exposed. There are no recorded deaths of humans from casual contact in the wild, mostly because locals in Colombia have learned to avoid the frog. But in laboratory conditions, gloves are required at all times, and handling is kept to an absolute minimum. Used by indigenous tribes for generations, the golden poison dart frog gets its common name from its long-standing relationship with humans, specifically the Embera people of Colombia, who have used the frog's toxin to coat their hunting darts for centuries. Hunters carefully capture the frogs and expose them to heat, causing the toxin to seep from their skin. They then roll their blow darts or arrow tips across the frog's back, acquiring enough venom to bring down monkeys, birds, and even large game with a single shot. Interestingly, the frogs aren't harmed in the process. They're released back into the wild after the toxin has been harvested. The effectiveness of the darts can last for months, and the venom remains potent even when dried. Why are they toxic? The golden poison dart frog's toxicity is not genetic, it's dietary. In the wild, they consume small invertebrates like ants, beetles, and mites that contain alkaloid compounds. These compounds are metabolized and stored in the frog's skin as batrachotoxin. In captivity, however, where their diet is carefully controlled and lacks these toxic insects, the frogs lose their toxicity entirely. This is why dart frogs kept in zoos and research facilities are safe to handle. This detail makes them even more fascinating. The frog isn't born deadly, it becomes deadly through its environment. It's a living example of how ecological relationships shape not just appearance and behavior, but lethality. Small but complex. The golden poison dart frog measures around 5 centimeters 2 inches in length and weighs less than an ounce. It's diurnal, active during the day, and it lives in humid lowland rainforests near streams and leaf litter. Despite its potency, it's an insectivore. Feeding primarily on small prey, it can overpower with its sticky tongue. Males are territorial and will engage in vocal chirping competitions to attract mates or deter rivals. Once a female lays eggs, the male fertilizes them and guards them until they hatch. He then carries the tadpoles on his back to a nearby water source, often a small pool of rainwater in a bromeliad or tree hollow. Their reproduction is highly sensitive to humidity and temperature, which makes them particularly vulnerable to climate change and deforestation. Critically endangered, despite their fearsome reputation, golden poison dart frogs are critically endangered. They are found only in a tiny area of rainforest, less than 20 square kilometers in Colombia's Cauca department. Habitat destruction due to logging, farming, and mining threatens this fragile ecosystem. Illegal wildlife trade also puts pressure on their dwindling numbers. Ironically, their extreme toxicity protects them from natural predators, but not from human development. Conservationists have launched breeding programs and habitat protection initiatives, but their limited range and ecological sensitivity make recovery difficult. In captivity, populations are stable, but preserving their natural habitat is critical, not only for the frogs themselves, but for the intricate web of life they support. Medicine from the jungle. As with the cone snail, scientists are studying batrachotoxin for medical applications. If it can be safely modified or mimicked, it may pave the way for new classes of painkillers or muscle relaxants. Its extreme potency means that even in microscopic doses, it could produce effects far stronger than morphine without the addictive risks. Researchers are also examining the frog's sodium channel interactions, hoping to better understand how nerves communicate. But all this depends on protecting both the frog and its environment, where the secret of its power originates. Why it ranks among the deadliest. The golden poison dart frog is not aggressive. It won't chase, bite, or attack. But its lethality is unmatched. Just a touch can be fatal. And while it doesn't kill often, the potential for death is staggering. Its ability to kill silently, instantly, and without physical violence makes it more terrifying than any predator with claws or fangs. And because its venom comes from what it eats, it's a walking chemical weapon, shaped by the jungle and hidden behind a golden glow. More than any animal on this list, the golden poison dart frog is a reminder that in nature size doesn't matter, potency does. And sometimes, the most beautiful creatures are the most deadly of all. Floating silently through the turquoise shallows of the Indo-Pacific, nearly invisible against the water's surface, is one of the most venomous animals known to science. It has no brain, no heart, no bones, just a translucent body and tentacles that trail like ghostly ribbons in the current. This is the box jellyfish, and it is as deadly as it is delicate. Unlike most jellyfish that drift passively with the tide, the box jellyfish is an active hunter, with vision, coordination, and an ability to swim. But what truly sets it apart is its sting. A brush against its tentacles can cause unimaginable pain, followed by paralysis, cardiac arrest, and death, all within minutes. It's an animal so deadly that in parts of Australia, entire beaches are shut down to protect swimmers during jellyfish season. Let's take a closer look at this translucent terror and understand why it ranks among the most dangerous creatures on Earth. What is a box jellyfish? The term box jellyfish refers to the class Cubozoa, a group of about 50 species. The deadliest of them all is Chironex fleckeri, found primarily in coastal waters of northern Australia, New Guinea, and the Indo-Malay region. It's sometimes referred to as the sea wasp, and with good reason. The box jellyfish gets its name from the cube-like shape of its bell, which distinguishes it from the more familiar bell-shaped Scyphozoan jellyfish. The bell can grow up to 30 centimeters, 12 inches across, and from each of its four corners extend clusters of up to 15 tentacles. Each tentacle can reach up to 3 meters, 10 feet, in length, and every inch is lined with thousands of nematocysts, tiny harpoon-like cells loaded with venom. These tentacles can stretch, retract, and tangle, allowing the jellyfish to ensnare and immobilize small fish, shrimp, and even the occasional unlucky human. Vision and intelligence, without a brain. One of the most astonishing features of the box jellyfish is that despite having no centralized brain, it possesses an advanced visual system. Each jellyfish has 24 eyes, yes, 24, arranged in 4 specialized clusters called rhopalia. These eyes include true lenses, corneas and retinas, and can detect shapes, light, movement and obstacles. Some are always oriented to look up, others down or sideways. This gives the box jellyfish a kind of spatial awareness, allowing it to swim actively, avoid obstructions, and patrol shallow waters in search of prey. It's one of the only jellyfish capable of controlled navigation, and it's this mobility that increases the risk to humans. Box jellyfish can move at speeds of up to 6 kilometers, 4 miles per hour, quickly approaching swimmers without being seen. The venom, a biological nightmare. The venom of Chironex fleckeri is among the most potent natural toxins ever studied. It's designed to instantly immobilize fast-moving prey and deter large predators. It contains multiple toxic components, including neurotoxins, affecting the nervous system, cardiotoxins, causing heart failure, dermatonecrotic toxins, destroying skin and tissue. The effects on humans can be catastrophic. A sting can cause excruciating pain, akin to being branded with hot metal, redness and welts that quickly escalate into necrotic wounds, muscle spasms, nausea, vomiting, and difficulty breathing, irregular heartbeat, low blood pressure, and cardiac arrest. Victims often experience Irukandji syndrome, a set of symptoms characterized by severe muscle pain, anxiety, high blood pressure, and even hallucinations. This syndrome can occur with or without visible welts. In severe cases, particularly when large portions of skin are contacted, death can occur in less than 5 minutes, too fast for help to arrive. The venom is so efficient that it can stop a healthy adult heart before they reach the shore. Human casualties and close calls. Since the 1880s, at least 70 known fatalities have been attributed to box jellyfish stings in Australia alone, with many more likely unreported in Southeast Asia and the Indo-Pacific. Most deaths occur in children or small adults, where the venom overwhelms the system more quickly. One of the most tragic aspects of box jellyfish encounters is their silence. Victims are often swimming or wading in shallow water when they feel a burning sensation, and by the time they realize what has happened, it may be too late. Tentacles can cling to the skin, continuing to release venom with every second of contact. Survivors describe the pain as beyond screaming, a burning, tearing agony that spreads like fire through the body. Many suffer from long-term scarring, both physically and psychologically. Treatment and prevention. Immediate first aid is essential when dealing with a box jellyfish sting. Here's what experts recommend. Remove the victim from the water immediately to prevent drowning. Pour vinegar, acetic acid, over the affected area for at least 30 seconds. Vinegar neutralizes undischarged nematocysts and prevents further venom release. Do not rub the area or use fresh water, as this can trigger more nematocysts to fire. Remove any visible tentacles using tweezers or a gloved hand. Call emergency services immediately. CPR may be necessary if the victim experiences cardiac arrest. In Australia, life-saving stations on beaches during jellyfish season are equipped with vinegar bottles and anti-venom for Chironex fleckeri, one of the few jellyfish with a specific anti-venom. Prevention is the most effective defense. During the stinger season, typically from October to May, swimmers are advised to wear protective stinger suits, swim only in netted or patrolled areas. Avoid shallow waters where jellyfish often hunt, an ancient creature, a modern threat. The box jellyfish has existed for millions of years, long before humans ever set foot in the sea. It's a prehistoric predator, refined by evolution into an elegant, deadly machine. Its jelly-like body may seem passive and gentle, but its tentacles carry a lethality that puts even modern weapons to shame. It's also an example of how fragile and formidable marine ecosystems can be. As climate change warms oceans and alters currents, sightings of box jellyfish have expanded into new territories, bringing their deadly reach closer to populated beaches and tourist zones. More than a killer, a scientific curiosity. Despite their danger, box jellyfish are a subject of intense scientific interest. Their venom has led to breakthroughs in neurobiology, cardiology, and even cancer research. Understanding how the venom interacts with cells helps researchers learn more about how ion channels and cellular signals function, core aspects of human biology. Some scientists are studying how their visual systems work without a brain, hoping to understand decentralized processing and sensory integration. Others are investigating whether components of box jellyfish venom can be used for pain management or precision medication delivery. Why it ranks among the deadliest. The box jellyfish is one of the few animals on Earth that can kill a healthy human in under 5 minutes. Its venom doesn't just disable, it shuts your body down. Unlike other venomous animals that bite or sting, the jellyfish doesn't even have to know you're there. A mere brush against its tentacles is enough to deliver a fatal dose. Its near invisibility, wide range, and presence in popular swimming areas make it one of the most dangerous aquatic threats in the world. What makes it even more terrifying is how gentle it seems, a transparent floating ghost with a killer's touch. A final warning from the water. The box jellyfish is a master of contradiction, beautiful but deadly, brainless but intelligent, fragile but lethal. It teaches us that not all threats in nature come with growls or fangs. Some drift silently on the tide, waiting to remind us just how wild and mysterious the ocean really is. It's not the monster you see coming. It's the one you never notice until it's too late. Drifting through coral reefs with gentle pulses and oversized eyes, the pufferfish appears almost cartoonish in its charm. With its slow, clumsy swimming and soft balloon-like body, it seems more amusing than alarming, like a living plush toy. But beneath that harmless appearance lies a deadly paradox. The pufferfish is one of the most poisonous animals in the world, armed with a neurotoxin so lethal that even the tiniest mistake in handling or cooking can result in immediate and irreversible death. Known as fugu in Japan, this oddly shaped marine fish has become infamous not just for its defense mechanisms, but for its lethal biochemical makeup, which has intrigued scientists, terrified fishermen, and fascinated culinary daredevils alike. What is a pufferfish? The term pufferfish refers to over 120 species in the family Tetraodontidae. These fish are found primarily in tropical and subtropical waters, living in coral reefs, estuaries, mangroves, and even freshwater rivers. They are best known for their ability to inflate their bodies as a defense mechanism. When threatened, a pufferfish gulps in water or air, if out of water, and expands its body into a large, round, and often spiny ball, making itself appear too big for predators to swallow. Some species also grow sharp spines when puffed, adding a layer of painful deterrence. But the real power of the pufferfish isn't its ability to look ridiculous. It's the chemical weapon it carries within. Tetrodotoxin, nature's stealthiest killer. The pufferfish's internal organs, particularly the liver, ovaries, intestines, and skin, contain tetrodotoxin, TTX, one of the most powerful neurotoxins known to science. This toxin is estimated to be 1,200 times more potent than cyanide. Just 2 milligrams, less than a grain of salt, is enough to kill a healthy adult human. Tetrodotoxin works by blocking sodium channels in nerves, preventing communication between nerves and muscles. This leads to rapid paralysis, including the muscles required for breathing, causing death by asphyxiation. Victims are often fully conscious during the process, aware of what's happening, but unable to move or call for help. There is no known antidote. Treatment involves life support and respiratory assistance while the toxin runs its course. Survival depends on how much toxin was ingested and how quickly emergency care is administered. How does the fish get its poison? Curiously, pufferfish are not born poisonous. Their toxicity is acquired through their diet, specifically from consuming bacteria-laden invertebrates and certain marine algae. These microorganisms contain the compounds that pufferfish convert into tetrodotoxin, which is then stored in their organs. In captivity, where their diets are controlled, pufferfish often lose their toxicity entirely. This unique trait proves that the danger they carry is a product of their ecosystem. Another reminder that nature's lethality can be hidden in the smallest of symbiotic relationships. Fugu, the deadliest dish. In Japan, fugu has long been considered a delicacy of both prestige and danger. Prepared by specially licensed chefs after years of training, fugu dishes involve removing toxic organs with surgical precision. Sashimi made from fugu is often sliced so thin it's translucent, arranged in flower patterns to highlight both its beauty and its risk. Despite strict regulation, accidental poisonings still occur. Most fatalities are caused by untrained individuals attempting to prepare fugu at home. In such cases, even a small error in cutting can be fatal. Japan reports dozens of fugu-related hospitalizations each year. Although fatalities have declined due to improved education and licensing, fugu isn't just a meal. It's a symbol of trust, tradition, and thrill-seeking. It's eaten during ceremonial banquets and holidays, with some diners enjoying the tingling numbness caused by trace amounts of tetrodotoxin left in the meat. Accidental encounters. Outside of Japan, pufferfish poisonings are generally accidental and often fatal. In the Philippines, for example, the fish is known as butate and is sometimes consumed in rural communities, despite government warnings. Dozens of deaths are reported each year from improper preparation. In the United States, Rare cases have occurred due to mislabeling or illegal import of toxic pufferfish meat. In 2002, several people in New Jersey were hospitalized after consuming mislabeled fugu, and one person fell into a coma. Tetrodotoxin has even entered the realm of folklore. In Haiti, it has been linked to voodoo zombie powder, with claims that minute doses were used to simulate death or induce a coma-like state. While this remains scientifically unverified, it speaks to the toxin's mystique and cultural fear. Built for defense, not attack. Pufferfish are not hunters. They are not aggressive. Their slow movement and awkward shape make them easy targets, which is why evolution gave them two astonishing defenses: inflation and poison. Rather than fleeing from danger, a pufferfish makes itself physically unmanageable. If that doesn't work, the lethal dose of toxin inside its skin will usually be enough to deter even the hungriest predator, permanently. Some close relatives, like the porcupine fish, Diodontidae, add a layer of thick skin and rigid spines to the mix, making them even more difficult to eat. A subject of scientific study. For researchers, tetrodotoxin is both a challenge and a goldmine. Its ability to specifically target nerve cells makes it a promising candidate for developing powerful anesthetics, non-opioid painkillers, neurological therapies. Understanding how pufferfish are immune to their own toxin is also of great interest. Studies suggest a genetic mutation alters their sodium channels, preventing tetrodotoxin from binding. This insight could lead to protective drugs or gene therapies in the future, why it ranks among the deadliest. The pufferfish is deadly not because of predatory behavior, but because of its potential to kill with microscopic precision. Its toxin is invisible, silent, and unstoppable once ingested. And unlike most poisonous creatures, humans actively seek it out for consumption. It is a killer hidden in a dish, a threat disguised as tradition, a predator's nightmare wrapped in harmless beauty. Its ranking among the most deadly animals is not based on the number of people it has killed, but on the sheer power of its biology, a reminder that even the softest, slowest creatures can be among the deadliest in nature. It glides across the ground like liquid shadow, fast, silent, and lethal, with a reputation that strikes fear into even the most seasoned herpetologists. The black mamba is Africa's most feared snake. It is not the most venomous snake in the world, but it is certainly among the deadliest and undoubtedly one of the most dangerous. Known for its speed, aggression when cornered, and neurotoxic venom that can kill in under an hour, the black mamba has inspired legends, fueled phobias, and earned a near-mythical status in the snake world. It doesn't need to bite multiple times to kill. One bite, delivered with surgical precision, is often enough. And it's this combination of speed, power, and potent venom that places it high on any list of deadly animals. Misleading name, deadly truth. Despite what its name suggests, the black mamba isn't black. Its skin is usually olive, brownish-gray, or gunmetal. The name comes from the inside of its mouth, which is a deep, inky black. When threatened, the snake opens its jaws wide, displaying that dark interior as a warning, a chilling sight meant to intimidate would-be attackers. Growing up to 4.5 meters, 15 feet in length, the black mamba is also Africa's longest venomous snake and one of the fastest snakes in the world. A venomous superweapon. The black mamba's venom is a powerful neurotoxin, specifically designed to shut down the nervous system. When it bites, the venom begins working immediately, blocking the transmission of nerve signals to the muscles. Within minutes, the victim may experience drooping eyelids, blurred vision, difficulty speaking or swallowing, muscle paralysis, respiratory failure. If untreated, death can occur within 30 minutes to a few hours, a terrifyingly short time frame. The snake can deliver up to 400 milligrams of venom in a single bite, and the minimum lethal dose for a human is estimated at just 15–20 milligrams. Thankfully, antivenom does exist, and when administered quickly, survival rates are high. But in rural parts of sub-Saharan Africa, where access to medical care is limited, black mamba bites often prove fatal. In the past, before antivenoms were widespread, it was said that a black mamba bite was 100% fatal. When it bites, despite its reputation, the black mamba does not actively seek out humans. It prefers to avoid confrontation, often fleeing when it senses vibrations or movement. Most bites occur when the snake is cornered, startled, or accidentally stepped on, often by people walking through tall grass or farmland. But when it does decide to defend itself, the black mamba is relentless. It will rear up, flare its neck into a hood, similar to a cobra, hiss loudly and strike with lightning speed, delivering multiple rapid bites in succession. Its long reach and speed make it difficult to escape once it's within striking distance. A legend of the African wild. In African folklore, the black mamba is often portrayed as a spirit of death, a creature to be respected, feared, and avoided at all costs. Its presence in myths and cautionary tales reflects the very real danger it poses to rural communities. Farmers, herders, and children are among the most frequent victims, not because the snake is aggressive, but because human expansion often encroaches on its territory. Termite mounds, abandoned burrows, and rocky outcroppings are all favored hiding places, and a simple disturbance can lead to tragedy. In these regions, education and awareness are key to survival. Knowing how to identify and avoid black mambas and how to react when one is encountered saves lives. Speed, demon of the snake world. In addition to being lethal, the black mamba is incredibly fast and agile. It can slither over rough terrain, climb trees, and even leap forward from coiled positions. It uses its speed, not just for hunting, but for escape and evasion, making it difficult for predators to catch or attack it. Its primary diet includes small mammals, birds, and reptiles. It typically strikes once or twice, then retreats and waits for the venom to take effect. Once the prey is paralyzed, the snake returns to swallow it whole. This strike-and-release method minimizes the risk of injury from struggling prey and showcases the mamba's lethal efficiency. Neurotoxic terror. The black mamba's venom is so effective that it is being studied for medical applications. In small, controlled doses, components of the venom may be useful in developing painkillers, neurological treatments, and even cancer therapies. One compound in black mamba venom, called mambulgens, has shown promise as a non-addictive painkiller, potentially more effective than morphine. This paradox, that such a deadly creature could hold the key to pain relief, illustrates the complexity of venom biology. Still, these are early studies, and the venom's raw form remains one of the most fearsome substances in nature. Survivors and fatalities. Black mamba bites are still relatively rare compared to those of other venomous snakes, but when they happen, time is everything. Without access to antivenom, the survival rate plummets. Victims often remain fully conscious as their muscles shut down, a horrifying experience known as locked-in syndrome. Those who survive frequently describe the pain as intense and unrelenting, often followed by numbness and progressive paralysis. With early medical intervention, including artificial respiration and multiple vials of antivenom, recovery is possible, but it's a race against time. Conservation and coexistence. Although feared, the black mamba plays an important role in its ecosystem. As an apex predator, it helps control populations of rodents and other small animals, preventing overpopulation and disease spread. It is not currently endangered, but like many species, it is affected by habitat loss and human persecution. Education programs in Africa now aim to replace fear with respect, teaching people how to safely coexist with these snakes. Killing them on sight often increases the risk, as cornered snakes are more likely to strike. Instead, trained wildlife teams are called to relocate mambas when they are found near homes or villages. Why it ranks among the deadliest. The black mamba earns its spot in the top 5 for combining multiple lethal traits: speed, venom, potency, long reach, multiple bites per strike, aggressiveness when provoked. Unlike snakes that rely on camouflage or stealth, the black mamba is a weapon of precision and dominance. Its bite doesn't just kill, it kills fast. In remote regions, that often means no second chances. It is nature's scalpel, elegant, exact, and unforgiving. Final words on a fearsome reptile. For centuries, the black mamba has been shrouded in fear and awe. It is the stuff of legends, campfire tales, and survival manuals. But behind the stories lies a real animal, one that doesn't seek violence, but will not hesitate when cornered. It reminds us that power in the wild is rarely loud. Sometimes it moves like smoke, strikes like lightning, and disappears like a whisper in the wind. Beneath the murky waters of tropical rivers, coastal swamps, and mangrove forests, a relic of prehistory waits. Still as stone, its armored body barely ripples the surface. Its eyes and nostrils peer above the waterline, watching, calculating. This is the saltwater crocodile, the largest living reptile on Earth, and one of the most dangerous predators ever to exist. Known colloquially as salties, these prehistoric monsters are apex predators in every sense. With jaws that deliver bone-crushing force, the patience of a sniper, and an instinct honed over millions of years, saltwater crocodiles are not only fearsome, they are near-perfect killing machines, and unlike most wild predators, they are not afraid of humans. They see us as just another animal to ambush and devour. A true giant of the animal kingdom, saltwater crocodiles are the undisputed giants of the crocodilian world. Despite their size, salties are surprisingly agile. In the water, they can swim at speeds up to 29 km/h, 18 mph, in short bursts. On land, they can gallop at up to 18 km/h, 11 mph, for a few seconds. Their bulk is no hindrance when it comes time to strike. Their bodies are covered in osteoderms, thick bony scales embedded in the skin that serve as natural armor. Their nostrils, ears, and eyes are positioned on the top of the skull, allowing the crocodile to remain almost fully submerged while scanning above the surface. This anatomical design is what makes them such invisible and efficient ambush predators. Masters of territory. Saltwater crocodiles have an expansive range, stretching from India through Southeast Asia to northern Australia and the Pacific Islands. Unlike most freshwater species, they thrive in both fresh and saltwater and are often found hundreds of kilometers out to sea, riding ocean currents between river mouths and coastlines. They're territorial, highly aggressive, and extremely patient, often lying still for hours at a time before launching a surprise attack. As human development continues to encroach on their natural habitats, these encounters are becoming increasingly common and deadly. The silent strike. A saltwater crocodile's primary weapon isn't its bite force, although that alone is incredible. It's the element of surprise. They bury themselves in mudbanks, lurk under mangrove roots, or float like driftwood until prey comes within range. Then, in one swift explosion of power, they lunge from the water, jaws open wide, and snap down with up to 3,700 pounds per square inch, PSI, of crushing force, the strongest bite of any living animal. Once it grabs hold, the crocodile often executes the death roll, a violent spinning maneuver used to rip flesh and dismember limbs. Large prey is drowned before consumption. Small prey may be swallowed whole. Unlike sharks, which often release after an exploratory bite, a crocodile does not let go. Smart and strategic. Saltwater crocodiles are not mindless brutes. In fact, they are highly intelligent, displaying complex hunting strategies and learning behaviors. In one documented case, crocodiles were observed placing sticks across their snouts during bird nesting season, luring birds looking for twigs to build their nests. When the bird landed, the trap was sprung. They remember patterns. They can track humans and animals, learning routines and returning to ambush locations at just the right moment. These are not just predators, they are planners. Predators of people, saltwater. Crocodiles kill more people annually than sharks. In northern Australia, strict warning systems help keep fatalities low, yet attacks still occur. In Southeast Asia, Papua New Guinea and India, where education and resources are limited, fatal attacks are often underreported. Many victims are locals using rivers for bathing, washing or fishing. Others are travelers unaware of the danger. And when a crocodile strikes, it often does so without a trace. Sometimes only a flipped canoe or torn clothing remains. Perhaps most frightening of all, salties have no fear of humans. They do not kill defensively. They hunt us, often silently with calculated patience, protected and thriving. In the mid-20th century, saltwater crocodiles were hunted to near extinction for their luxurious hides. Their numbers plummeted across much of their native range. But since the 1970s, legal protections have allowed populations to recover, particularly in Australia, where crocs are now fully protected. This conservation success has come with new challenges. As their numbers grow and territory expands, crocodiles are appearing closer to human settlements, on popular beaches, in remote rivers, and even in urban waterways. Culling and relocation programs help manage high-risk individuals, but removing one croc often leaves a vacuum that others quickly fill. Crocodiles are part of the landscape now, and they're not going anywhere. A legacy that spans eras. Saltwater crocodiles have existed in their current form for over 100 million years. They've survived asteroid impacts, ice ages, the rise and fall of empires. They are living fossils, unchanged because they never needed to change. Their design is perfection in predation. Unlike most apex predators, crocodiles routinely prey on humans. Not opportunistically, not defensively, but as part of their hunting behavior. That alone sets them apart in the animal kingdom. They don't stalk us out of malice. They do it because they can. Cultural power and ancient fear crocodiles appear in myths, religions, and cultural taboos around the world. In Hindu mythology, the goddess Ganga rides a crocodile. In Aboriginal Dreamtime, crocodiles are spirit guardians. African and Pacific Island traditions often portray them as gods, demons, or sacred monsters. This isn't superstition, it's ancestral wisdom passed down by generations who understood the risk of walking too close to the water at dusk. In the words of a popular Northern Australian saying, "If you see a croc, you're lucky. If you don't see one, worry." Why the saltwater crocodile is one of the deadliest. The saltwater crocodile's danger doesn't lie in frequency of attack, but in certainty of death. When it strikes, it does so without hesitation, and almost always with fatal results. It is the strongest biter on the planet, a master of ambush and camouflage, one of the few animals that hunts humans without fear, capable of killing with a single blow. It doesn't need venom, it doesn't need speed. It waits, it watches, and then it wins. It doesn't slither, sting, or roar. It doesn't chase its prey or grow fangs in the night. In fact, the tsetse fly looks ordinary, just a little larger than a housefly, with folded wings and a silent flight. But this tiny insect is responsible for thousands of human deaths every year, not because of its bite, but because of what it carries, a parasite that destroys the mind from within. Found only in sub-Saharan Africa, the tsetse fly transmits trypanosomes, microscopic protozoa that cause African trypanosomiasis, better known as sleeping sickness. The disease starts with fatigue and fever. It ends in hallucinations, madness, coma, and death. In many ways, the tsetse fly is the perfect killer. Small, fast, unnoticeable, and almost impossible to avoid. You don't hear it coming. You don't feel the bite. By the time symptoms appear, the parasite is already attacking your brain. A silent killer in the African bush. The tsetse fly belongs to the genus Glossina, a group of blood-feeding insects native to the wooded and savanna regions of Central Africa. They thrive in hot, humid environments where vegetation offers shade and moisture. Unlike mosquitoes, which often target exposed skin at night, tsetse flies are daytime feeders, hunting by sight and scent. Both males and females feed on blood of humans, livestock, and wild animals. They use their piercing mouthparts to stab through skin and suck blood, injecting saliva that contains the parasite if the fly is infected. But it's not the fly itself that kills, it's what it carries. The parasite, Trypanosoma brucei. There are two main subspecies of the parasite responsible for human sleeping sickness. Trypanosoma brucei gambiense causes a chronic form of the disease prevalent in Western and Central Africa. Trypanosoma brucei rhodesiense causes a more acute, aggressive form found in Eastern and Southern Africa. Once inside the human body, the parasite multiplies in the blood and lymphatic system before crossing into the central nervous system. This progression can take weeks to months, depending on the strain. Early symptoms resemble malaria, fever, headaches, joint pain, and swollen lymph nodes. But once it reaches the brain, everything changes. The symptoms of a mind unraveling. As the infection progresses, the parasite disrupts the body's sleep-wake cycle, causing the classic symptom that gives the disease its name: uncontrollable daytime sleepiness and nighttime insomnia. Victims experience mental confusion, poor coordination, mood swings, hallucinations, aggressive behavior, seizures, coma. Without treatment, the disease is always fatal. In its final stages, the infected person slips into a coma and dies from organ failure or secondary infections. The tragedy is that by the time neurological symptoms appear, treatment is more difficult, more toxic, and less effective. Death in the millions. Throughout the 20th century, sleeping sickness devastated entire regions of Africa. In the early 1900s, it killed hundreds of thousands, more than some wars. At one point, it was estimated that over 50,000 people were dying annually. Between 1970 and 1990, cases surged due to civil unrest, the collapse of medical infrastructure, and deforestation, which brought humans and tsetse flies into closer contact. Though modern surveillance and treatment programs have reduced the number of infections dramatically, down to about 1,000–2,000 cases per year, according to the WHO, the disease remains a persistent threat. In many rural areas, a single tsetse bite can still mean a death sentence. Not just a human threat. Tsetse flies also transmit nagana, a related disease that affects livestock. Cattle, horses, pigs, and other animals are vulnerable. Infected animals suffer weight loss, reproductive failure, and death. This has had a profound impact on agriculture and pastoral communities across Africa. The presence of tsetse flies in a region often means that entire herds must be relocated or sacrificed, leading to food insecurity and economic hardship. In total, the tsetse fly has made over 10 million square kilometers of land in Africa unsuitable for livestock farming. That's an area nearly the size of the United States. Why they're hard to stop, the tsetse fly is a biological fortress. Unlike mosquitoes, which lay hundreds of eggs in standing water, tsetse flies give birth to live larvae, one at a time. The larva immediately burrows underground and pupates, emerging as a full-grown adult. This makes it harder to target tsetse populations with pesticides or larvicides. The pupae are hidden underground, protected from chemical exposure and predators. In addition, the fly's exoskeleton is tough, making it more resistant to sprays and traps. They are strong flyers, capable of traveling long distances, and they feed during the day, making nets and repellents less effective. And worst of all, tsetse flies are attracted to movement, dark colors, and carbon dioxide, exactly what humans emit. The fight against sleeping sickness. Eradicating sleeping sickness has been a decades-long battle. The WHO, in partnership with African governments and global health organizations, has made remarkable progress. Active screening. Health workers visit villages, testing blood samples to identify and treat cases early. Drug treatment. Medications like pentamidine and nifurtimox are effective if administered in time. A newer drug, fexinidazole, is now available as a simple oral treatment, even in advanced stages. Vector control, tsetse traps, insecticide-treated cattle, and sterilization programs, releasing irradiated infertile males, have reduced populations in many regions. Still, challenges remain. Many affected areas are remote, impoverished, and conflict-ridden. Surveillance requires constant funding, training, and equipment. One missed outbreak can undo years of progress. Cultural impact. In parts of Africa, sleeping sickness is more than a disease. It's a social curse. Villages avoid marrying into families with a history of the disease. Children of survivors may be shunned, and rumors about curses or spirits often spread. Because neurological symptoms resemble mental illness, many victims are misdiagnosed or misunderstood. Families may hide afflicted members due to shame or fear. In these contexts, education is as important as medicine. Why it ranks among the deadliest. The tsetse fly kills not by teeth or toxin, but by introducing a mind-warping parasite. It's not the terror of the jungle, but the whisper of madness that follows. Its reach spans millions of square kilometers, affecting both humans and livestock, crippling economies and haunting history. What makes it truly deadly is its subtlety. You don't see it coming, you don't feel the danger, you don't realize you're infected until your brain is already under siege. It is the ultimate vector of suffering, not because of its own power, but because of the devastation it unleashes with a single, silent bite. A final word on the fly. The tsetse fly proves that death doesn't always come with claws or fangs. Sometimes it wears wings and silence. It lands, feeds, and vanishes, leaving behind a microscopic invader that wages war on the brain. As science edges closer to eradicating sleeping sickness, we must not forget what this insect has done. It has killed millions. It has brought down empires of cattle and closed vast regions to human life. And it has done so, all while looking harmless. A reminder that in nature, the deadliest creatures are not always the ones that roar. Small, silent, unseen, the mosquito weighs less than a grain of rice, and yet, in the story of life on Earth, it has played one of the most disruptive roles of all. Lacking claws, teeth, or venom, this tiny insect doesn't hunt like traditional predators. Instead, it glides quietly through warm air, gently landing, barely felt before piercing the surface of the skin. The danger of the mosquito is not what it is, but what it carries. It serves as a natural transporter for microscopic organisms that influence the health of both humans and animals. These tiny hitchhikers have traveled across continents and generations, with the mosquito as their winged vehicle. A life in miniature. There are more than 3,500 species of mosquitoes, found almost everywhere on Earth, except Antarctica. They thrive in rainforests, wetlands, farms, villages, and cities alike. These insects belong to the Culicidae family, and what makes them truly unique is the female's role in reproduction. Unlike males, female mosquitoes feed on blood, which provides essential nutrients to produce eggs. Using a long, needle-shaped structure called a proboscis, the mosquito gently penetrates the outer layer of skin. As she feeds, she also releases a small amount of saliva that contains special proteins, allowing her to feed without interruption. That saliva, however, is often where the danger begins. The hidden passengers. Mosquitoes are not dangerous because of the bite itself, but because of what they may introduce into the bloodstream. These flying insects can host and transfer microscopic life forms that affect various species, especially humans. In particular environments, especially tropical and subtropical regions, this makes mosquitoes a major public health concern. The effect of these encounters ranges from temporary discomfort to long-term health challenges. And even when individuals recover, communities may face long-term effects such as reduced school attendance, missed work, and stress on healthcare systems. Tiny flyers, big history. Throughout history, mosquitoes have left their mark, not just on individuals, but on entire civilizations. In ancient times, regions with warm climates and still water often saw frequent outbreaks of illnesses. This impacted trade, migration, agriculture, and military campaigns. Ancient Roman texts refer to mysterious fevers that struck soldiers and settlers near swamps. During the building of global infrastructure projects like canals and railways, workers often had to pause or relocate due to high mosquito activity. In the 20th century, travel journals and wartime reports frequently mentioned the challenges posed by biting insects in tropical regions. From shaping the rise and fall of empires to altering where cities were built, mosquitoes have quietly guided human decisions for millennia. Built for survival. What makes mosquitoes so hard to control is their incredible adaptability. They can breed in the smallest water source, an old cup, a leaf, a puddle in a plastic lid. Their eggs are resilient, able to survive dry conditions for weeks or even months. In just 7 to 10 days, a mosquito egg can become a fully developed adult, ready to fly. Mosquitoes are also quick to evolve. Over time, they have adapted to resist many of the control methods used by humans. This includes chemicals, traps, and even certain natural predators. Their ability to change makes them not just survivors, but highly effective competitors in a changing world. City invasion. While most people associate mosquitoes with jungles and swamps, some species are thriving in urban environments. Aedes aegypti, for example, is a species that has fully adapted to life near humans. It breeds in artificial containers like tires, plant trays, and discarded bottles. Unlike many species that bite at night, this one is active during the day and prefers to feed on humans rather than animals. With growing cities, warmer climates, and increased movement of people and goods, mosquitoes are expanding into new territories every year. This shift increases the chance of encounters even in places once considered too dry or too cold. Facing the challenge. Humanity has been trying to manage mosquito populations for over a century. Early efforts included draining swamps, burning vegetation, and later spraying insecticides. While these methods reduced mosquito numbers in some regions, they often came with environmental consequences or limited effectiveness over time. Today, a more balanced approach includes distributing mosquito nets to reduce contact at night, promoting proper water storage and waste disposal to reduce breeding sites, releasing sterile male mosquitoes into the wild to limit reproduction, researching biological control methods, such as introducing natural predators, developing vaccines to strengthen immunity in affected populations. Efforts are ongoing in science, technology, and education, but progress takes time and coordination. An uneven fight. In wealthier regions, people often have access to screens, air conditioning, repellents, and clean water. In lower income areas, options may be limited. Open windows, uncovered water containers, and overcrowded homes offer mosquitoes easy access. As a result, the impact of mosquitoes often reflects global inequality. Those with the fewest resources tend to face the highest risk and the greatest long-term burden. The most dangerous of all, the mosquito doesn't stalk its prey. It doesn't strike with fury. It floats quietly, lands lightly, and disappears before it's even noticed. But in doing so, it changes lives. Its strength lies not in size or aggression, but in numbers, persistence, and silence. Among lions, sharks, and serpents, the mosquito remains the most lethal force in the animal kingdom. Not for what it is, but for the legacy it leaves behind. Not by attacking, but by connecting invisible worlds through a single drop of blood. They build cities, send satellites into orbit, compose symphonies, and perform complex surgeries. They imagine, innovate, and shape the world with astonishing precision. But behind all this brilliance lies a darker truth. Humans are the most impactful and most dangerous species on the planet. While we fear lions, snakes, and sharks, the true threat to life on Earth isn't a wild beast. It's us. No other creature has transformed the planet so completely or altered the course of life for so many others. The dominant species. Unlike predators that rely on claws or fangs, humans use something far more powerful: intelligence. Our ability to plan, cooperate, and create tools has allowed us to dominate every biome on Earth. We've diverted rivers, reshaped coastlines, carved through mountains, and cultivated vast fields to feed growing populations. We've turned forests into farmland, oceans into highways, and wilderness into concrete landscapes. Our current era is often called the Anthropocene, a time defined by human influence over geology, climate, and ecosystems. We've become the architects of Earth's future. A history of conflict. Throughout history, human conflict has played a central role in shaping borders, societies, and technology. From ancient battles to global wars, our pursuit of power and protection has left deep marks across continents. While early humans fought with stones and spears, today we possess weapons capable of reaching across oceans in seconds. The tools we've created for defense have grown so powerful they can alter landscapes and disrupt entire nations. And while war is often justified by necessity, its effects ripple far beyond the battlefield, disrupting economies, displacing communities, and damaging the natural world. Impact on each other. Even outside of war, human society grapples with internal struggles, inequality, division, and social challenges that affect millions. From strained communities to injustice and unrest, our actions often hurt not only the planet, but also one another. These challenges don't come from nature. They stem from choices, systems, and values we've created. Unlike other species, we can imagine a better world, yet sometimes choose paths that lead to hardship. Reshaping the planet. Perhaps the most far-reaching impact of humanity lies not in battlefields or cities, but in the natural world. We are the primary force behind what many scientists now call the sixth mass extinction. Species disappear at a pace far beyond the natural rate, many of them unknown, lost before discovery. The causes are deeply tied to modern life. Deforestation to make way for crops and grazing. Pollution of air, water and soil with industrial waste and plastics. Climate change driven by the emission of gases that trap heat and disrupt global patterns. Overfishing that depletes ocean life faster than it can regenerate. Habitat fragmentation that leaves animals without space to thrive. From the smallest insect to the largest mammal, life everywhere is affected by the pressure of human expansion. Health and globalization. Our interconnected world has brought many benefits: faster communication, shared knowledge, and economic growth. But it also brings new vulnerabilities. Large cities, international travel, and industrial farming have made it easier for health challenges to emerge and spread. Public health professionals now work across borders to monitor and respond to global health events, some of which have shaped recent history in profound ways. Additionally, the overuse of antibiotics in people and animals has contributed to resistance, making it harder to treat common infections. It's a reminder that even our most powerful medicines must be used wisely. Technology and responsibility. Human innovation is astonishing. We've mapped the genome, explored the depths of the ocean, and placed probes on distant planets. But with each breakthrough comes new responsibility. Some technologies carry risks, not only of harm to individuals, but to the systems we all depend on, whether it's powerful artificial intelligence, advanced biology, or tools that can reshape ecosystems. Humans now hold the ability to change the course of life in ways once unimaginable. We are the only species with the potential to both preserve and destroy on a global scale. Consumption and waste. In many parts of the world, modern lifestyles demand vast amounts of resources. One person may use more energy in a week than others use in a year. We extract, consume, and discard at a pace the Earth struggles to match. Our oceans now hold trillions of plastic particles. Our skies carry growing levels of carbon. Our land is marked by mines, landfills, and industrial zones. Even the rocks record our presence, with new man-made layers forming in the earth, some now calling it plastiglomerate. This consumption doesn't just affect the environment, it also reflects inequalities across the globe. Why humans top the list? We are not predators in the traditional sense. We don't possess natural weapons, but what we do have is far more powerful. The will to shape the world, the tools to do it, the intelligence to see consequences and act anyway. We alter ecosystems, rewrite climate patterns, and influence every corner of the globe. No other species does so with such scale and permanence. A species with a choice. Yet in all of this, there is hope. Humans are also capable of compassion, healing, and restoration. We rescue endangered species, protect rainforests, and create technologies to clean the air and water. We can build communities based on cooperation. We can listen to science, learn from the past, and choose a better future, not only for ourselves but for the entire planet. In the end, what makes us the most dangerous species is also what makes us the most capable of change.